Have you ever been prescribed medication only to have the pharmacist hand you something with a name you don't recognize at all? Yeah, it can be pretty confusing, especially when you're dealing with serious conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. So, if you're hearing this word biosimilar for the first time, you're in exactly the right place. We are going to clear up all the confusion right now.
Okay, so let's picture this. You and your doctor, you've talked it over, you agree on a plan, you're going to start on Humira. But then you get to the pharmacy and they give you a box that says Amgevita. You're probably thinking, wait a minute, what's going on here? Did they make a mistake? It's a super common moment of confusion, but trust me, there's a perfectly good reason for this.
To get to the bottom of this, we've got to understand that not all medicines are made the same way. You can think of traditional drugs, like aspirin, as being like baking a simple cake from a recipe. You use the same ingredients, same amounts, every single time, and you get the exact same cake. But then there are biologics, and they are a whole different ballgame.
Biologics are these incredible cutting-edge medicines that are actually made from living sources, like cells or organisms. So think of them less like a simple chemical recipe and more like a very carefully cultivated, complex plant. These are huge, intricate molecules that have absolutely revolutionized how we treat many autoimmune diseases.
And that brings us to the star of our show, the biosimilar. So what is it? A biosimilar is a type of biologic medication that's specifically designed to be a version of an original, approved biologic, which we often call the reference product. So going back to our first example, Humira is that reference product, and Amgevita is its biosimilar.
Now, you probably noticed the word similar and not identical. Why is that? Well, it's because these drugs come from living sources, and just like no two plants are ever 100% identical, there are always these tiny natural variations between different batches of any biologic medicine, even the original one. A biosimilar is just engineered to match that original as closely as science can possibly get it. And this is where regulators like the FDA step in and draw a really important line in the sand. They have a very specific standard. A biosimilar absolutely must have no clinically meaningful differences from the original. That phrase right there, that's everything. It's the official guarantee that the biosimilar is just as safe and works just as well.
And they don't just take the manufacturer's word for it. This isn't some rubber stamp approval. Getting a biosimilar approved requires a mountain of evidence. It starts with incredibly intense lab analysis to prove the molecular structure is a near-perfect match. Then it moves to animal studies, and finally, clinical studies in humans to confirm it behaves the exact same way in our bodies.
And the real-world evidence is just overwhelming. I mean, look at this. In Europe, where biosimilars have been used for well over a decade, regulators have collected over 1 million patient years of data. That is a massive amount of information, and all of it points to the exact same conclusion. They are just as safe and just as effective as the original medicines.
So what does no meaningful differences actually mean for you, the patient? Well, it means you can expect the exact same results, the same treatment benefits, the same potential side effects, the same strength, the same dosage, and it's given in the exact same way. Everything that actually matters for your health stays the same.
Okay, so that brings up a pretty logical question, right? If the biosimilars isn't better than the original, then why even make it in the first place? Well, the answer isn't about making a better drug. It's about making treatment better for everyone. And it really all comes down to competition.
Yep, the biggest reason biosimilars exist is to increase patient access and lower healthcare costs. It's just like what generic drugs did for traditional medicines. Biosimilars introduce competition into the market for these expensive biologics, and that competition helps drive down prices for everybody. We're talking billions of dollars in savings already.
Now, it's totally natural to hear lower cost and think lower quality, but that's absolutely not the case here. The savings come from a much smarter, more efficient approval process. See, the original drug company already spent billions proving the drug works. The biosimilar makers just have to prove their version is a near-perfect copy. It's a shortcut on cost, not on quality or safety.
And this isn't some far-off future thing. This is happening right now with some of the most common and important drugs used in rheumatology. So if your treatment involves medications like Humira, Enbrel, or Remicade, you should know that biosimilar options are becoming more and more available. That means more choices for you and your doctor.
You might also hear another term thrown around, interchangeable. This is a special designation from the FDA. It's for a biosimilar that has gone through even more studies to prove it can be switched back and forth with the original without any issues. This designation can allow a pharmacist to substitute it without needing a new prescription, kind of like they do with generics, though the exact rules depend on your state's laws.
But here is the absolute bottom line, the most important part. Whether a biosimilar has that interchangeable label or not, it has passed the same high bar for safety and effectiveness. The FDA considers both to be equally good options. That interchangeable status is really more about pharmacy rules and logistics than it is about the quality of the medicine itself.
So let's just boil it all down. What are the key takeaways here? Number 1, biosimilars are safe and effective versions of biologic medicines. They are held to the exact same high standards by regulators. They will give you the same health outcome as the original drug. And importantly, they help make these powerful treatments more accessible and affordable for everyone. If you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Biosimilars mean the same benefits for your health, the same safety standards you expect, but with more options available for your treatment.
So, the big question, is a biosimilar a good option for you? Now that you're armed with all this information, the best thing you can do is have a confident, informed conversation with your doctor or your pharmacist. They can help you look at your specific treatment plan and your insurance coverage to help you make the absolute best choice for your health.